Gordon, the U.S. State Department has named its first special representative to Muslim communities. Farah Pandith, a Muslim immigrant from India, will work to engage the U.S. government with Muslims around the world. Eric Steckelbeck has more on what this position means for U.S.-Muslim relations.
President Obama has made outreach to the Muslim world one of the top priorities of his administration. It's Farah Pandith's job to see that his efforts succeed. The State Department has named Pandith its first special representative to Muslim communities. The department says Pandith will engage with Muslims around the world on a people-to-people and organizational level. Pandith appeared at a press conference yesterday to discuss her new role, which Secretary of State Hillary Clinton helped to create.
What she asked me to do is to leverage my experience in Europe and in other parts of the world to think about how we can have the department work on Muslim engagement in a way that is out of the box, that is innovative, that is dynamic, that works with embassies so that we're getting to know the next generation of thinkers.
Pandith, who is Muslim, was born in the Kashmir region of India. Her family immigrated to the U.S. when she was a one-year-old. She previously worked for the State Department as a senior advisor on Muslim engagement in Europe and has also worked in the Afghan capital of Kabul.
What I'm trying to do is trying to foster more dialogue, to find ways to listen where we haven't before, and to build opportunities for dialogue.
In 2005, the Bush administration assigned Karen Hughes to a similar role of conducting outreach to the Muslim world. But the Obama administration's efforts to improve America's relations with Muslims have gone much farther. The president's first interview upon taking office was with the Arab network Al Arabiya. His recent speech in Cairo talked of a new beginning between the U.S. and Muslims worldwide. The president has also increased aid to Muslim countries. He's drawn criticism for attempting to open a dialogue with terror sponsors like Iran and Syria and for calling on Israel to stop all settlement activity. But despite the critics, he says those controversial outreach efforts will continue. Eric Steckelbeck, CBN News, Washington.
Thousands of Marines and hundreds of Afghan troops launched a joint mission early this morning to root out Taliban insurgents in southern Afghanistan. It's called Operation Condor, or Strike of the Sword. 4,000 Marines and 650,000 Afghans are in Helmand Province, which houses the world's largest poppy crop. The troops dropped in from helicopters and drove armored vehicles behind enemy lines, taking insurgents by surprise.
The aim of the air assault was to put Marine Corps forces back expeditionary-wise out behind enemy lines. We dropped into a few places that nobody had been.
The goal is to clear insurgents from the region before the nation's presidential election next month. North Korea has done it again. The country test-firing 2 short-range missiles from its eastern coast today. South Korean media reports say they were ground-to-ship missiles. North Korea's action comes despite the new United Nations sanctions that were imposed to punish the country for its recent nuclear test. It also follows news that a suspicious North Korean ship changed course earlier this week. The ship had been under U.S. surveillance following reports that North Korea could test fire a long-range missile toward Hawaii as early as July 4th. More than 1,000 people turned out for a memorial service honoring Chris Leggett in his hometown of Cleveland, Tennessee. Leggett was a teacher and Christian aid worker in the African nation of Mauritania. He was shot and killed last week by Muslims with ties to al-Qaeda in the African nation of Mauritania. His family and friends remember the 39-year-old husband and father as a man who deeply loved the people he served.
Our family's great hope is that Chris will not have died in vain, but that through his physical death, thousands will continue to be challenged to passionately join him in demonstrating God's love.
The murderers claim Leggett was trying to convert Muslims to Christianity. The Drug Enforcement Administration has joined the investigation into Michael Jackson's death. The agency is stepping in to help local police take a look at Jackson's doctors and his medications. Following his death, allegations emerged that the 50-year-old king of pop had been consuming painkillers, sedatives, and antidepressants. North America's tallest building, Chicago's Sears Tower, has a new attraction. A glass sky deck, referred to as the Ledge, extends out about 4 feet from the building. And the clear glass floor gives visitors a bird's-eye view 1,300 feet above the street. You can get the latest from CBN News by going to our website.